What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Add to Queue. This week, I'm going to be talking to you about Netflix's new Carole and Tuesday. I'm absolutely in love with this anime. The song Loneliest Girl has been in my head ever since I finished part 1. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Carole and Tuesday, it is a good, wholesome anime about two musicians trying to make it big in a world devoid of creativity because they live on Mars. The underlying concept is rather simple, and that's what makes this anime unique. Truth be told, I haven't seen a musical anime since K-On!, Nana, and Nodame, and even then, this particular anime feels like a breath of fresh air. And it's definitely a huge departure from the plethora of LitRPGs that are just taking over the anime landscape nowadays. And I do love LitRPGs. And now, whatever genre this is, because I feel like it stands on its own to some degree, I love it too. And most of the musical themed anime, aside from a few really great classics, are about becoming idols. This anime is more relatable and more akin to the journey that an indie artist takes. If I had to make a direct comparison, I would compare it to artists like Mai Nagatani and Rie Sumioka from Terrace House. Artists that are starting out, that are trying to play some great music, and not necessarily for the ambition of becoming an idol, but to write and perform great and honest music. What's also unique and interesting is the incorporation of English music. This is what made me switch to dub for the rest of the series, which is refreshing because I'm normally a sub guy, and I will switch to the dub when it's a great job, and this anime is a perfect example of a great dub. And you really start to appreciate the choice to convey the music in English. It was strange, but not in a weird way, but in a new way. And now that I think about it, I probably wouldn't compare it to any other anime. It's more like a normal TV show in the West. There's no protagonist, there's no hero's journey, at least not the ones we're familiar with. There's no hidden powers, and there's no evil plot anime tropes. It's a well-written, well-thought-out narrative that follows the music, as it should, and I keep saying it is a huge breath of fresh air. Now, there's a huge number of notable mentions and references in this anime that make it even more relatable to a Western audience. You know, names such as Cyndi Lauper, Bruno Mars, Motorhead, Justin Timberlake, and Teen Vogue. That makes it more relatable to a Western audience, and also a pretty huge departure from satirical references that you'd normally get in an anime trying to avoid licensing. Instead of McDonald's, it would be Whackdonald's. But Carole and Tuesday does a great job of grounding itself in a world we actually know, even if it does take place on Mars. But even then, isn't Elon Musk's mission to bring humans to Mars? And if that's the case, that would make this anime a period piece. A future piece. Now let's talk about the music. Let's talk about the songs. They're inspired, they're creative, they're good. And the premise that they've laid out in this anime, in this world that's on Mars, many of the songs are devised by AI, in which algorithms dictate a song's success, and the music produced is very stale and very repetitive and very same. And it really gets me scared to think about a future in which all creativity is replaced by AI. To me, that's the only thing you can't replace. Human creativity. The human heart and its flaws and conditions is what makes music relatable and unique. So when I hear the music that Carole and Tuesday make, I'm not comparing it only to the AI-produced drivel that's on this world, that's in this world. I'm comparing it to the music that we have today. And quite frankly, it's better, it's good, and it's inspiring. And it ain't your typical anime music that you'd find on an anime OST. The anime is filled with cautionary tales of an AI-controlled world where anything you can imagine a robot doing, it does. And there are instances where workers are just dying to do something with their time and welcome the first sight of someone requesting something off the beaten path that they can actually do, as opposed to letting a robot do everything. But hey, Instagram still exists. Carole and Tuesday are both equally likable in their own innocence, and beyond the music they produce, which is stellar, they both inhabit two girls from a generation that is apparent in its lack of soul. Not knowing any of the notable mentions I spoke of earlier, there are even some references from ageless popular culture that they don't even know, such as the Thriller video that they're trying to film, or the music from the Beatles. It all adds to their character, and even if they're not familiar with these references, they're not familiar with the soul of the history of music, they have their own creativity and their own soul to kind of push forward in their own music. All they want to do is pursue their passion for music, and this series definitely delivers on that. And it's a huge departure when I'm watching an anime and I feel like I'm watching a Western TV sitcom or a Western TV show, like the comparable TV shows of The Voice and America's Got Talent, to the Western references of musical artists like Bruno Mars or Cyndi Lauper and the Beatles. I think when it comes down to it, what I enjoyed the most about this anime is that it was unlike any other anime. It was animated like an anime, and the original audio was in Japanese, but I watched it in dub, but everything else, the story, the narrative, the dialogue, all seemed very Western to me. And the songs being sung in English, they were great, they were easy to relate to. And even though I enjoy a lot of Japanese pop, you know, I enjoy Western pop too. And these songs were great to listen to. And I could imagine myself listening to these songs that Carole and Tuesday make in my own phone or in my own Spotify library. And that's incredible. All right, that'll do it for my review of part 1 of Carole and Tuesday. I can't wait to see what else comes their way. Obviously, there's a lot more obstacles for them to tackle. There's a lot more problems for them to go through as struggling artists, as the title Struggling Artist, you know, dictates. So I can't wait to see that unfold. I can't wait for part 2. And this anime is definitely worth it to add to your queue. Guys, if you enjoyed this review of part 1, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this anime, as well as giving it a thumbs up and subscribing for more add to queue and videos from me. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.